Good morning to detectives. Collecting donations for the policeman's ball. We don't have balls. I honestly have no response to that.
This sounds like a Naked Gun, but I highly doubt it's Naked Gun.
I'm going to go with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but I'm not confident.
Incorrect.
I'm going to go with...
Hint is not a TV show, or it's not a movie.
It's not a movie. Okay.
Not.
And obviously it's centered around cops of some sort, right? So Super Troopers? Do they have a TV show? No, I'm thinking...
No, that's a movie.
That's a movie. I thought there was... No.
Oh, wait.
Is it Sirens?
Nope.
Oh, I love Sirens. Have you seen Sirens?
I have not seen Sirens.
Oh, man.
Sirens is good.
I don't know. I give up.
Okay. It is Psych.
Oh. Who says that?
Sean Spencer says it to Detective Lassiter.
We don't have balls.
Yeah.
That makes sense now. It all comes full circle now.
It does.
All right. Well, welcome to the Utterly Useless Podcast, the only podcast that's heard it both ways. Across from me is a man that will learn a wrong lesson while being taught a right lesson. The Sean Spencer of the group, Jeremy.
Oh, thank you. Wow. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
To my left is a man that can't spend the night in the museum. He doesn't have his toothbrush. He doesn't have his multivitamins. And oh yeah, he doesn't want soul-suffering eternal damnation for disrupting the sleep of an Egyptian canal digger. The Burton Guster of the pod,
right.
Brett.
I do have a blueberry. And
oh yeah, you do have a blueberry now.
And you know what? Did you hear about Pluto? It's messed up.
And lastly, I'm the man that isn't afraid to ask you how many hats are in the room. The Henry Spencer of the pod, Timmy.
Good.
Okay.
I'm glad that you did not give yourself the Lassiter
Yeah,
of the
that's
podcast.
what I was like. Who's he going to give himself? There's no way he's going to give himself Lassiter.
No.
All right, merit badges. What do we got?
So this week, for my merit badge, I have broken down and have become a internet live TV subscriber.
Oh.
So I am now I actually have cable
Oh, really?
via the internet.
Like when you say via the internet, like YouTube or Fubo?
I'm using Hulu.
Hulu. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, and you have like a whole the live Hulu.
The live Hulu.
How is it?
So far, it's not too bad. I haven't used it very much. I broke down last weekend, and when where you watch a bunch of football games and whatnot, and I'm just like, well, I'm tired of dealing with the antenna, and it doesn't make sense to me how if I move the antenna 6 inches, it gives me a clear picture, but then you move it back, it's not there anymore. The signal's lost.
Yeah, that's weird.
And so I just decided, well, they have a pretty good deal going on right now for the next 3 months, with a lower rate until they raise it in a few days. So I'm taking advantage of it. I'm giving it a try.
I was told that, I saw on TikTok that apparently if you wait for Black Friday, they have yearly deals like almost everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
And they just always just sign up for just the 1 year and keep doing that every year.
What was it? For 2 years in a row, and I did it 1 year, and I forgot to do it the second year. Hulu had a $199 for 12 months
I did that.
deal. Mm-hmm. And I was going to do it. I did it 1 year, and I was like, I really didn't watch any Hulu. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't do it. And then, of course, then Hulu gets a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, man, could have got that for like $24.
Well, I'm sure Disney's just going to absorb Hulu completely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but I actually ended up getting the full package. So I got the live Hulu, I got Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good
deal.
package.
Yeah, that is. The one thing I don't like about that is ESPN, the package. All I use ESPN Plus for ever is the articles. Like none of the games I watch are on ESPN Plus.
So, well, I will say, and as somebody who's never had ESPN Plus before, I think the best benefit that you could get is when you are getting ready to do your fantasy basketball league, because they have in-depth player analysis and stuff like that you can totally nerd it up
and
try to beat your son.
That's what I did. I have done that. So I am very much aware you get that in-depth analysis, and so I've already started pre-planning. This is the earliest I've ever started planning out my fantasy draft in any sport. Most of the time, I just kind of walk in.
Props to you, because that's generally when I'm into full fantasy mode. Like I like stalk Barnes and Noble, because I'm always after, because I'm like, I'm not paying that for ESPN Plus, but you know what I will do? I will buy a couple of those yearly yearbook prediction model magazines. And so I will buy those, and I mark the crap out of them. And then I listen to podcasts, and I'm like, all right, this is my strategy. This is my strategy. And then like somebody like your son will come in and be like, hey, I'm going to take this person. It's like, and there goes my strategy out the window.
Yep. I guess I need homework to do.
Yeah, I don't really plan to pick one person. I actually just plan to not pick people.
Oh, yeah.
That's my usually strategy of going in. Yeah, I just worry about like LeBron James. I mean, he's going to go late in the game, especially because he can't play a whole season anymore.
I know. It's so weird. Like whenever I think about him, my brain just goes, he's just like a young rookie who's been in the league for a couple of years. And it's just like, no, because he's your age, I believe.
He's my age.
Wow.
All right. Well, I'll keep this going, or else I could get stuck in the sinkhole of sports and fantasy. All right. My merit badge is called Outsourcing Storytime.
Ooh.
So my kids are like, especially my twins, really like stories that are just made up and they're about them. So I asked ChatGPT to create these stories for me. And they're always like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just writing the things down that you want, because they have this laundry list of like, I want a dragon, I want a castle, and then they name all their cousins, and I'm like, yeah, I got it.
And then an angry midget.
Yeah, exactly. And so they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't want to forget any of these things that you're saying, so I'm writing them down. Like, okay. And then like spins up a 5-minute story. I'm like, sweet.
Nice.
And then you can make just small alterations to your previous request. Usually I keep that saved. And then I spin up another one if they have been good enough to get 2 in one night.
You know, I think for the next podcast when I'm doing an introduction, like, because
there you go.
In another podcast that I do, I asked it to do a short introduction. Yeah, its short introduction is like 4 paragraphs. And I will be like, give me 2 paragraphs. And then it will give me 2 large paragraphs, which would be the same, the length.
That's funny. Well, it did what you asked, but make 4 sentences. All of a sudden, the 4 sentences are really long.
I mean, the funny thing about it is like, I'll be like, hey, introduce these hosts, whatever. And it basically will set up a situation where this person is this person is this, and this person is this. And I'm like, like, did the internet like scan and like listen to all my podcasts? Because that's pretty accurate too.
That'd be funny. There's a transcript. It's like, all right, the unpaid writer.
All right. Well, my merit badge, I'm going to share with you what it looks like first before I describe it. So this merit badge is a person in an oversized dinosaur costume with a sign that is off to its side with a cell phone out, and the dinosaur humanoid or whatever is staring at the cell phone, because this is actually what I saw. And my brain just goes, man, technology ruins stuff. So, you're those sign flippy people that are trying to get people to go into business. And I have nearly gotten into a car accident watching somebody like flip a sign, twirl it around. Like, back in like the early 2000s, it was a thing of beauty and skill to watch somebody do it. You just,
especially in California.
Oh yeah. I mean, generally it was just kind of like, some people just kind of shake it up and down and just wave it side to side. And, that they're listening to, a CD player or an MP3 player or something like that, eventually their cell phone. But, they were still entertaining. I'm driving down the street and there's this guy in a full costume with the sign down to one side and the head down, just staring at a cell phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this sucks. Like, technology does so great things, but technology also is ruining things too.
Yep. It's true. That's, I told you, I think it was last week about the car wash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they, I mean, that's how I knew that it was free car wash and all that, because those people, and they had them on every corner at that intersection. But yeah, most of them were like usually their heads down looking at their phones.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really care, honestly, because I've never been exposed to I've never seen in person the flippers.
Oh man. Like in California, it was a thing of beauty. It was just like, holy cow. He is like, whoa, driving.
Have you ever seen this Criddle in life?
It's
Really?
it's an art.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. I've just seen people just shaking them up and down, and that's the most movement I've ever seen out of those signs.
Yeah.
It's the next great Olympic event.
Yeah.
Sign twirling.
Oh man,
Competitive.
is there going to any kind of drug enhancement there?
No, but you don't do what the Iron Lotus. Like, yeah.
The Iron Lotus, is that from the ice skating?
Yeah, the Blades of Glory.
All right.
Spin the wheel.
All right, we got Spin the Wheel, where we have 10 categories of questions. We're going to ask each other a question, and the rest are going to have to answer it, all dependent on the wheel. So here we go. And Criddle, you're up first, and you got random question.
If you could own any weapon from any movie or TV show and have it become reality, what would it be?
And I get to keep it, right?
And you get to keep it.
Star Trek phaser.
Star Trek favors over the lightsaber?
Star Trek phaser. Oh yeah. Before you attack me, I've already either stunned you or killed you. So
I'm just going.
He's dead, Jim.
yeah, you're doing the whole like Indiana Jones thing, going rah, and I'm Harrison Ford just going zap.
This is a random one I'm considering. But do you remember the gun from The Fifth Element?
Oh
It
yeah,
has like a million options of what it can do, except don't push that one button. Has a flamethrower, has, of course, regular bullets. Oh yeah, I like that because you can aim the target and hide, and then the bullets find the target. But the problem is those are bullets, and I probably run out. Where you have phaser, and do you charge that?
yeah. So as long as the battery doesn't run out.
I just wondered what that's like, in that world. Do you have like a charger at the end of the day?
I believe they run off of like some crystal line type thing.
Oh, okay. Lightsabers are really hard to pass up. Gosh, what else is there out there that's cool?
I'm debating between a lightsaber and a neuralizer.
I mean,
What's a neuralizer?
From Men in Black.
Oh my, that's a weapon though. You'd consider that a weapon?
I would consider that a weapon.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the other thing would be a Green Lantern ring.
Because
then I could do anything.
Yeah, there's that kind of.
I mean, is it a weapon?
It can be.
Sure.
Well, then there's that.
But doesn't the ring choose you?
No, does
Okay.
it?
Yeah, well, it does. But in this situation, I want one, and it just goes, okay, your will is strong.
Qualified.
You force it.
Exactly.
And the ring's like, I did not consent to this.
It's a prearranged
If I can have the ring, I'll have the ring, because you can create anything with that, right?
Mhm.
And then if not, then I'll probably go with the neuralizer. Is just too good to pass up.
Oh, that'd be so useful as a parent.
That'd be better than almost any other actual weapon. As long as they're not wearing sunglasses, be like, hey.
Take a look right here. Smile.
Yeah. Do they need to? I wonder what it's like. Like, I'd do some tests on that. Be like, do they need to look like right at it? Like,
well, you know, be funny is if you find out, like, the secret funny movie would be like the background people who aren't there, but are like, a block away, and suddenly they just like freeze. They're mowing their lawn, and suddenly, and then they come to and they're just like, what just happened?
What? Oh,
What?
I fell asleep.
Did I, honey, did I sleep mo? Like,
Have you ever done that? Have you ever fallen asleep doing an activity? Like not falling asleep, but like completely you're gone mentally.
all
And
the
then you're
time.
like, I'm done.
It happens often when I'm driving. Like,
Yeah.
my brain just goes on like standby mode, and then I'll like,
And then you're like,
suddenly
I'm home.
I'll come home and I'm just like, and then it like freaks me out because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know how I got here. I really don't know.
Yep, I've done that many
Autopilot.
times. Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the neuralizer. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I could use it on myself. I don't know. That lightsaber though is really cool.
Neuralizer, can you sorry, it's been a while since Men in Black. How does it erase like the most recent memory? No.
Well, there's
the little
settings.
time.
There's
Little turn
hours, days,
Years.
Gotcha. And so it just wipes out everything in
So
that.
really you could be like, 5 minutes ago, and you just do it on yourself.
Ugh.
Like,
That was a horrible movie.
I must have used.
And
must
then
have
you're
done
like, you're
something.
standing in front of the movie theater. You're just like, I wonder.
now you're in a time loop.
Person's like, that guy just keeps coming in and coming, leaving and coming and leaving, coming, watching this movie.
The person who works there, like, you must really like this movie. What movie? One ticket for this movie, please. Sorry, one ticket for The Village, please.
You look at your credit card statement. They charged me 7 times.
You go to fight it. They're just like, we actually have you on camera buying these tickets.
And they have a video camera of you flashing yourself. I'm like, okay. Okay. No, it makes sense now.
I need to like now before I need to I write a post-it note to myself, stick it on myself, flash memory wipe me, and then just like, I'm gonna go watch the wait. You've just barely watched The Village. It's disappointing. Don't. But then you might be like, how disappointing was it?
Oh, yes. Yep. That would be, that's a nifty tool, not just for yourself, but for others, but for yourself. So,
Yep.
and you got a lot of redos if you ever say something stupid.
Yeah.
Infinity redos.
Yep. I like it. All right, Brett, you're up next. And looks like you're going to get Kiss, Marry, Kill.
All right. So I decided to do this because I've been trying to do something evil for you. So I'm going to say Lord of the Rings, the movie series,
the TV.
Ready Player One, the book,
If you said the movie, I'd be fine with it.
and then I'm going to say X-Men, the animated series.
X-Men animated. I think because we talked about the X-Men animated series recently, in our little March Madness stuff, that I'm probably gonna kill that.
Oh,
I haven't watched that since the 90s. I watched a little bit, I guess, a couple years back, but I really haven't watched it. I sat down and watched it. I'm gonna marry. That's a hard one.
oh, good. At least I got one of them. That was hard.
Ready Player One.
I'm gonna marry the book, kiss the movie, axe the animated series.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm thinking. Ready Player One was just so great as a book. And like Will Wheaton reading it, just adds to another level to it.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, but Lord of the Rings. I'm gonna go on marrying Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
I'm kissing Ready Player One and axing.
X-Men.
You can still be friends.
Yeah, we'll still be friends. I kissed him. I kissed a book and I liked it. All right, my turn. And it looks like I got Would You Rather, which is convenient because this one is also a psych question.
Ooh.
Would you rather Psych never existed or Cobra Kai?
I'm going to go with, Johnny Lawrence. I'm going to go with Cobra Kai because I find, and again, it goes back to comedies being more rewatchable, even though Johnny Lawrence is like the best part and is the most comedic part of Cobra Kai. There's a lot of drama and stuff like that it's just like, and then there's like repeat drama. It's just like, oh, didn't we just do this last season? Oh no, we did this with what's his face. Now we're doing it with the other guy. And it's just like, okay, fine. So yes, I would prefer, I want to keep Psych and Cobra Kai not exist.
Same.
Wow, that was
Easy.
easier than I thought.
Like I mean, I like Cobra Kai, but I like Psych way more. I like the characters in Psych. I like their developments, and there's a lot more to it. I like it.
All right. Well, that was simple enough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Krill, you're back up with how much?
How much would it take to put ketchup on everything you eat forever?
Like unlimited amount of ketchup.
Unlimited amount of ketchup.
Just give him the ketchup.
Just
Free
give me
ketchup.
Just give me the ketchup.
But what if like you're gonna eat cookies and you have to put ketchup on?
Yeah, fine. I don't care.
Cereal,
Oh.
ice cream.
Oh. Oh.
I mean, I might start like tailoring like what I eat a little bit differently, but
Yeah.
I love ketchup. In
No.
fact, the other night, last night, I went out to dinner and I asked for some ketchup, and they came back with like
The little cups.
a little cup, and I'm like I almost wanted to be like, how about the bottle?
Don't tell me the alpha and the omega of my ketchup by giving me this little dish
What is this, a tease?
for the rest of my life.
Rest of your life. No, let's change it. Let's do it for 2 years.
Oh, okay, 2 years. Whew. That drops it down.
And the ketchup is given to you for free.
Okay,
So you don't have to pay for it.
that's nice. That's a nice touch.
You get to pick the company you want it from. If you want Heinz ketchup, sponsored by Heinz.
Do you know what I'd like? Because I've told my students
Not a
this. I go back in the day. Heinz had purple ketchup,
Oh yeah, I
had
remember.
green ketchup,
I remember
had
those.
yellow ketchup, and I go, I love ketchup. However, when I saw purple squirted on my hamburger, I couldn't hack it. It's just like, I know that's, red is not the
Yeah.
actual natural color of ketchup. It is dyed. But I'm like, I've associated ketchup with being red for most of my life. I cannot hack purple ketchup.
I think telling my brain also if it was yellow, be like that's not mustard would be very difficult.
Yeah.
Like, and then I'd bite it and I'm like, how is this not mustard?
The pen is blue.
I'm gonna say for 2 years, I'll take 100,000 per year, so 200,000.
100,000? Okay.
Yep, so 200,000 total.
I'll just go 2,000 just because I'll get paid money. Like just having the free ketchup is all that I would like.
So $2,000.
Uh-huh.
And this seems like I don't need to ask it, but I'm just gonna ask it. It doesn't go in my drinks, right?
I'll be nice and say no.
Okay, because then the price is gonna go up dramatically. Because then I can't get rid of ketchup for like 2 years.
No, it'll go just on food.
At that point, I'm just be like, can I just buy IVs just for something different? Put it straight in my veins.
Would you like ketchup with that?
And,
For every single like drop of IV fluid, you have to take a squirt of ketchup.
I would just get so tired of it. And I mean, I would eat just all the foods that ketchup is, pairs well with,
Now-
or even pairs decently with.
I would say it's easier today than before because they have different kinds of ketchup, like jalapeno ketchup,
Oh yeah, they do.
sriracha ketchup, whatever.
Yeah, you could eat Japanese with ketchup.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, I guess it is
Sure.
possible. I'd have to venture out now because I haven't really tried all those different ones.
Now I've heard that like Canadian ketchup is horrible. So we're talking American ketchup.
I've never
right?
even heard
Yes.
of.
You get to choose the
Okay.
brand, the flavor, whatever. It could be exclusive Chick-fil-A ketchup. I don't know. Whatever you want.
Okay.
All right.
All right. And Brett, you're up next, and you got what would you have done?
So I was sitting there thinking about this. I was listening to a podcast conversation about Star Wars, and it hit me. Like, I know it didn't happen this way, but your brain kind of almost believes that it happened because of like to be continued. But at the very end of Return of the Jedi, the Darth Vader takes what's his face, Palpatine, throws him, dies. The Empire is falling apart. You are like a lieutenant on a starship, just hearing that Darth Vader died and also Palpatine died. What do you do? Because I know what I would do.
I put in my notice.
Yeah, that's probably what I was thinking too. I'd be like, I'd just turn tail and be like, oh, should I get my severance?
To the escape pod.
Yeah. Where am I located at this time?
You're in a Star Destroyer.
Or Star Destroyer? Okay.
You're a lieutenant in a Star Destroyer.
I'm like, well, Spaceballs didn't work out. The Empire didn't work out. I'm out.
Yeah, I'd probably take an escape pod. And just be like, all right, I'm going to go sleep with my wife.
That's it for me.
See, here's what I would have done. I would have been like, all right, I'm going to gather a whole bunch of men and we're going to be space pirates together. We're going to take this sucker and we are going to like, hey.
Are we stormtroopers in this?
No, I said you're a lieutenant.
Okay, lieutenant. Okay, we're the gray outfit people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you're not like the captain, but perhaps you get enough men under you. You're just like, hey, we're going to take this ship because the structure has been the balance of the command structure has just fallen. We're going to take the Star Destroyer and we're going to be space pirates.
Everybody put on your patches.
Exactly.
and the what are they called? Why can't I remember? The white guys? What are they called?
Stormtroopers?
Yeah, stormtroopers. There's like, can we finally take off our helmets now? No.
No.
Back to work.
We're going to paint black on them so that people will know you're pirates. In fact, let's put some skull and bones on there.
Actually, we're going to improve it. We're going to, Oh, what would you do?
We're going to have them glow in the dark.
Ooh.
Is that what a promotion is there? Is you get to take off your helmet?
Probably.
You get promoted finally. You're no longer a stormtrooper. You're first lieutenant or whatever. And you're like, oh, that's what you look like. I only know your sound kind of muffled through
It's
a
like,
microphone.
wow, you're handsome. It's so sad that you were like hidden behind that helmet for all those time. It's like, I know. And that's why I'm single. It's a thing. Nobody wants to date a stormtrooper.
Nobody wants to. They don't even know what we look like. We're never allowed to. It's almost like we're Mandalorians. We can't take off our helmet.
That'd be so funny if they had like a dating app for stormtroopers.
They swipe right. They just have one of those little Tinder things where it's like just one picture after another.
It's them without their stormtrooper, like, they're surfing, but their stormtrooper helmet is on. They're, they have like a tux with a stormtrooper helmet on.
All the different things. One's taking a selfie in front of a mirror in a bathroom, but his stormtrooper helmet on.
It's like, well, he's Jack, so I mean, like, that's a thing, but what does his face look like?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. All right. So last one is from me. And I get what if. Okay. What if you had the ability from like the D&D movie Dungeons and Dragons that just recently came out to speak with dead? Use that ability. How would you use it?
First off, I would
you dig up people?
Yes. And not only that, I would go to certain, like, I first would go to like the conspiracy theorists and be like, okay, just out of curiosity, who do you think killed JFK? All right, quickly to the graveyard and start ask, because aren't they compelled to tell you the truth?
I don't remember. I mean, they all did, so I assume so.
So then I'd be like, waking people up like, hey, I hear that you did this. So what explain how the whole thing occurred. And so that's what my first step would be. And then I would be like, all right, back to the conspiracy theorist. So do you think the Abraham Lincoln was an inside job? Quickly to the graveyard.
Let's go ask John Wilkes Booth himself.
Exactly. That's what I would do. That would be my first step, would just kind of go to some of these conspiracies that everybody has wondered for years and years and years. And then I'd be like live streaming it. So then I get paid money for it too. And then, however, I'd have to be super, super careful because maybe the government would be after me.
Yeah. You'd have to be wearing a mask.
Exactly.
They don't know who you are.
Stormtrooper mask.
Yeah. This guy's filming himself with a stormtrooper mask for some reason. They all look alike. They always miss.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's do that.
My thoughts as I was asking you guys, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, there's a show kind of like this. It's called iZombie, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Where she talks to the dead and investigates, who kills them, more or less. So you could almost be like a detective and just walk right in like, who killed you? It was this person. And there's some question about, your will. Who did you want your money to go to? This person. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Work as a PI.
The one thing I couldn't do is any relatives because I think it'd hurt too much, you know?
Yeah. Like, did you love me? No.
No.
Oh.
Well, at least I can like move on now.
Get back in your grave.
That'd be like, and you know what? I'm not going to ask you that final question. Goodbye.
My question is that if, like, let's just say, because that was like an old corpse, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if it was like a freshly dead corpse? You ask them one question and then you walk away. Are they able to walk around and now live among society until
That'd be interesting.
until they get two more questions from other people? Are you lost, miss? What? No, don't ask any more questions.
You know what it would be? They would be like the Meeseeks from Rick and Morty. They were just like, please. They would like band together and just find you, and probably like ransom you. Finally, just like, hey, you're gonna ask us these questions, and then we were going to die finally.
But it could be anybody to ask them the question.
Oh,
right?
it is.
I don't know,
I thought it was
because the one dude wakes him up.
Oh, that's right.
and then
right.
Chris Pratt talks to them. Not Chris Pratt. Chris Pine.
Yeah.
So I assume that, like, they wake up and they're lost and they're naked or something because they're in the morgue. They're like, are you okay? No more questions. No more questions. I want to live.
You see a bunch of zombies wearing headphones.
Yeah.
Noise canceling.
All right. Now we have channel surfing as our next segment, which if you are from any time in the 90s where pre-streaming and all that, the video on demand, we had to decide what we were going to watch on TV. And sometimes there was better things on TV and you had to take the risk to switch the channel, see if something was better, and then come right back sometimes. But in this situation, we're going to we don't know how many channels there are. The last channel is always going to be the Weather Channel, which is the most boring channel. And you get to decide if you're going to pick this show or you're going to risk it and change the channel to the next show. I'm going to randomly roll a die. It'll tell me how many movies we are going to have, how many challenges we're going to have before we get to the Weather Channel. And here we go. Okay, the first movie, you turn on the TV, The November Man, 2014.
Sounds familiar, but it sounds familiar for the reason why I probably didn't want to watch it. So
Next.
Sister Act, 1992.
Never watched it, never want to.
You never watched Sister Act?
Nope.
It was like a classic, I feel like, at the time, but yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to watch it again.
I mean, if you said, you pointed a gun at my head and said, you need to watch a Whoopi Goldberg movie.
I would pick Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I mean,
that's a fun movie.
I haven't seen that one. But I would say, does Little Rascals count? Because she's in it for like a minute.
If she's in it, she's in it.
Ghost isn't terrible either.
I would watch Star Trek.
She's also voicing Toy Story.
She is?
3.
Yeah, that's right. She is. She's one of the bad guys, right?
Yeah, like is it the octopus?
That's what I was trying to think if it was the octopus or not. All right, so you guys both changed channel?
Yep.
Yeah, next.
The Hills Have Eyes 2, 2007.
Oh, I remember seeing the trailer for the first one. It looked so good. And then we saw the first one, and I'm like, I can never watch this movie ever.
It's just gross. Like, part of it was just really gross.
And so to watch a sequel to a movie that I felt tricked into watching, no.
Yeah.
I will watch the Weather Channel.
I'm gonna go next.
Okay, the next one is Alexander, 2004.
I will watch that. I that was hated for some reason, and I didn't overly like it. Is that the Val Kilmer one?
Val Kilmer? No, I don't. Let's see. It's the
What is the Val Kilmer one? It's the one with Angelina Jolie and Val Kilmer.
No, you're thinking of Colin Farrell?
No,
Because Colin Farrell's in this.
there's one that I'm thinking of with Val Kilmer. I'm gonna figure this out. I'll watch it because I feel as though it wasn't great, but I think I'd rather watch it than the Weather Channel. So I'm gonna go with Alexander.
I'd rather go take my chances with the Weather Channel.
So, Brian, you said what? Sorry?
I'll take Alexander.
Okay. So you're sitting, it's a 5.9 for funsies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cradle, you get the next channel is The Wonder, 2022.
I wonder if he's gonna watch this.
The Wonder?
Yep. The Wonder.
What's the synopsis?
Haunted by her past, a nurse travels from England to a remote Irish village in 1862 to investigate a young girl's supposedly miraculous fast. ...
Nah, pass. Next.
Next one, Escobar, Paradise Lost.
Next.
You get the Weather Channel.
Yes.
All right. Go for round 2.
I feel like a winner.
Yeah, Val Kilmer is in Alexander.
Oh, is he?
I knew it.
Is it the Colin Farrell one?
Yes, it's the Colin Farrell one.
Who was he in that one?
I don't know. I know because I remember hearing a thing where he was super excited to be the cast in the role. Yeah, it's directed by Oliver Stone.
Mm-hmm.
Features Colin Farrell, Anthony Hopkins, Angelina Jolie, and he is Angelina Jolie's, I believe, husband. And his favorite scene about that was he just got to pretend to be a married couple with Angelina Jolie, and he absolutely loved it. And he, I think, from what I remember hearing, is she got so annoyed because he'd mess up the lines, and he's just like, "Hey, I'm going to enjoy being your husband, partially naked in bed for as long as possible."
Interesting. All right, round 2. All right, you turn on the TV, first channel. You see The Minions, 2015.
No. Next.
Ooh, which one's the Minions? Is that it? Oh no, the first Minion movie? No, next.
Yeah, isn't that the one with what's Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, next channel, Rain Man, 1988.
Definitely. Definitely going to change the channel.
Next.
All right, next channel, Night Hunter, 2019.
You know what's the funny thing? Oh no, sorry, that was another Hunter movie. I was like, that has Val Kilmer in it. Night Hunter, 2000 what?
19.
Read me the synopsis.
A Minnesota police officer crosses paths with a committed and tireless vigilante as he follows the trail of a ruthless predator responsible for several abduction ... It's funny because it cut off abduction before it goes ...
Next.
Yeah, I'm going to go next.
Oh, Brett's going to hate this. Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear.
Okay, watching.
1991. I didn't know there was a subtitle to this.
Yeah, The Smell of Fear. And then the third one was 33 and a third. What was it?
I'm watching.
Yeah. I can't remember what 33 and a third was. Yeah.
You're both watching?
Mm-hmm.
Kim? Yep. Just so you know, it's a 6.8 for funsies.
Nah.
But the rest of these this was a pretty decent one because The Day After Tomorrow is next, which I love that movie.
I would have watched that.
Yeah.
Two Guns.
Is that
That's with Wahlberg and
Denzel Washington?
Yep.
Okay.
I've never heard of this. There's Something Wrong with the Children.
Oh, that's not a good movie.
And Magnolia, which
I remember that was a like 98, 99.
Yep,
It was a
99.
two taper back in the day. And I remember people avidly loving it, and I brought it home, and I've watched the first 5 minutes of it. I'm like, I'm done.
You either love a two taper, or you hate a two taper.
Then there was Big Mama's House, Like Father, Like Son. And then the 2020, which I didn't know, version of The Craft.
Oh, yeah. I heard that one flopped horribly.
It got a 6.2, so I don't know.
I think we chose wisely.
Yeah.
Yep, I think so too. I would say either Naked Gun or
Day After
Day After
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
I like them both.
I should watch that again.
All right, here we go. Getting a new set. Turning on the TV. The Three Stooges, 2012.
Next.
No, next. I remember that going to theaters.
The next one is Look Away, 2018.
Look away.
Next.
Yeah.
Next one, The Wicker Man,
Next.
1973.
Next.
I don't know if that one's better or worse.
I've heard it's better than the
Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage one, but still next.
I don't know why I watched that movie. That was a horrible movie. Next one, End of Days, 1999.
Next. I did not like that one.
That's Arnold, right?
Yeah, that
Yep.
was Arnold.
Next.
It listed as horror. Is that movie horror?
It's more science. Well, I mean,
It's action, fantasy, horror, mystery.
yeah, because it's more of a mystery, and then you find out that it's very like demonic type of thing. So
Oh, okay.
that's where it would get the horror from.
I don't think I've seen the movie. Next channel, Death Wish 4, The Crackdown, 1987.
Next.
I'm gonna chance it. I have not watched this, but
You want to go right to the fourth?
you know what? I'm just gonna go to number 4 because
Must be that good.
that's where Star Wars started. Number 4.
All right. It's a 5.7, just so you know.
Okay.
All right. Next channel, Kronk's New Groove.
Yes. I'll watch that.
What?
Sure.
Like the first 30 minutes is good, and then it's just like,
I haven't watched it.
okay, your homework for this week is to watch Kronk's New Groove, and you get back to me.
All right.
And that's a 6.4. So
How?
and you guys might have been a little sad. I'm curious. So the next one you're not going to be sad about is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh.
No.
No.
I'm not sad about
1977.
that. Uh-huh.
I hate Winnie the Pooh. I'm sorry. I don't enjoy Winnie the Pooh. The next one is The Marine, 2006.
No.
That's John Cena, it looks like.
Yeah, not concerned.
And then this one I'm curious if you guys have seen or whatever. Green Lantern, Beware My Power,
Oh, that's a animated.
Animated.
Yeah, I own that. That's pretty good.
2022. And then the last one is the classic Babe.
Oh, 2022. No, never mind. That's the Jon Stewart one. That was okay. Like DC animation used to be from 2009 to about 2018. Fantastic. And then they decided to like really cheapen up how they are going to do it. And so that takes away some of my enjoyment.
All right. Well, that wraps up our channel surfing. All right. Now we are going to continue our long journey of working on what is the most rewatchable movie of all time.
TV series.
Or TV series. Yes, I am talking words and bad words and wrong words. So let me get this set up. Sorry, I completely
Yeah, have
forgot
you
about
seen
this.
that Beware My Power?
I have not. I think it's on.
It's on HBO Max,
Yeah.
It's good. It's not great.
What is that? The movie. we're just
Beware My
talking about.
Power.
Alrighty. Okay. And
Oh boy.
all right.
Hey, we
And
do have Squid
for the
Game.
first round, we're going to go over. Well, I guess we're on the second round of this bracket. But the first one is going to be Arrested Development versus Cheers. That's an interesting pairing.
Oh,
I mean, you got Arrested Development, which obviously I think has captured a lot of people's time with their humor, and then Netflix taking over and doing another, 2 seasons?
2 seasons. I've never watched the last season on Netflix. One of these
Is the
days.
last season, because I know my wife watched them all, and she said the last season, I think it was the last season, or maybe it was the season before, where it's different, the same story, different perspectives.
Yeah, it's the first season on Netflix was
first
different
season.
perspectives. Yeah.
I want to go where everybody knows my name. Cheers.
Yeah, and Cheers just classic.
Uh-huh.
They're both kind of like very popular movies for their era. I mean, shows. Wow. I can't drop movies from my vocabulary right now.
Loud noises.
I mean, personally, I'm not a big fan of Arrested Development, so I'm going Cheers as well.
Yeah, I think Cheers. Clean sweep.
All right. Wednesday versus Sherlock.
I've never seen Wednesday, but the people that see it are so avidly passionate about it. I have to give them that.
Yeah, I give you that.
So for that reason,
But the first 3 seasons of Sherlock's, and only the odd episodes, episode 1, episode 3 are the best ones.
Yep.
Episode 2 is like, it was just filler. This
And
was
then
a
the
90.
Christmas one was garbage.
This
and I
was a
hope it-
90-minute filler episode, like a
Yeah.
full-length movie. Who would ever do if you hear about some of the complaints about some of the things that Disney's doing, then I guess you would believe that there is such thing as filler stuff. But what did I tell you a couple months ago? I went to Desert Star Playhouse, and they made a crack. It was a Back to the Future spoof. They made a crack about the Captain Marvel movie.
Uh-huh.
Did I tell you about that?
No.
It was amazing because you can tell by the audience reaction that it was a good crack, but there's also, it was a 50-50 split, because one of the last things that, the guy who's playing Marty McFly tells like his younger self or something like, or Doc Brown whatever. I can't remember. It was a Back to the Future spoof where they kind of like altered so many different things. But the person who's getting ready to go back to the future basically goes, oh, by the way, Captain Marvel is not the tie-in movie that you think it is. You should probably skip it. And half the audience cheered for it, and the other half the audience booed at that. And it was
That's funny because you definitely thought it was gonna be a tie-in movie, and then they're just like, nope. All you need to know is she's very powerful. That's about it.
uh-huh.
My say with Wednesday is it's a great show, but I don't have any interest of going back and watching it. I don't think it's like that great.
Well, and I think even though Sherlock is not a comedy, I think there's high rewatchability with the Christmas episodes and like the number 2 episode for like the first 3 seasons.
Uh-huh.
Highly rewatchable.
Yep, I would agree.
I'm going Sherlock.
I think it's a clean sweep here as well.
You are Sherlock.
All right. Next we have Chop. What did Chop win against?
That's
The Good Place.
how did that happen?
As probably me.
Okay.
It's me and Criddle versus you in The Good Place.
I will say it's a good place. See, I think we said this before. Season 1 was perfect,
Yeah.
but then it just went weird.
But like after season 1, didn't we get The Bad Place more? Which I did enjoy that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chop versus Justice League, Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah. There's 2 cartoons there.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Yeah, the Justice League animated series, and then the Justice League Unlimited animated series.
Oh, okay.
And I have to give it to him. Like it is so good. And when I canceled HBO Max, I was like, but I won't have that. But then I like looked at my DVD case and I go, but I own it, so it's okay.
How often do you get a DVD out of your case?
Not that often. But knowing that they're there.
It brings you comfort. What about you, Cradle? You have DVDs.
They come out more than you'd think.
Our DVDs are right there in these little things. And
I don't think that thing has been open since you moved it
No.
from your.
No, it has. We took it on our
Oh,
trip
really?
too. Like
You
when we
did?
were in the RV because we knew they would have DVD
Okay.
players in there. And
Are those little binders? Like,
yeah,
Oh wow, I have all my cases.
I told myself I would like back in the day that I would never get rid of my cases, and then I eventually did.
So
Yeah.
in college, I actually had all my I tried it where I put all my movies in a binder
Uh-huh.
with sleeves, and then I put all the cases away in tubs, thinking, okay, this is going to be my test. Can I live without it? And then when I was pulling them out, I was like, oh, they're getting scratched, or oh, they're falling out, and I'm like, forget it. I just put them back.
The worst thing about like sleeves, in my opinion, is when you have a double-sided DVD.
Yes.
Those are.
And then it's like, what movie is this? And you're like trying to find forever.
I think they stopped that.
My favorite is because it's double sided. One is the standard
Yeah.
def, and the other one is widescreen. I'll be like, okay, which one's widescreen? Okay, standard def is going to be the one that has the most risk.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I have never seen Justice League, the animated series, but I would rather watch it than Chopped.
Well,
Well, a whole bunch of clean sweeps in round 2 so far.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you do this on purpose?
I did not do this on purpose. Psych versus Cobra Kai. That's hilarious. No, like I thought about my question the other day and I was like, oh, I'm going to ask this if this comes up. And then Riddle does the intro with Psych and now Psych versus Cobra Kai. Man, it's a Psych day.
Well, I'm going Psych. So
Yeah, I think you guys have already established it
Yeah.
essentially. And I'm going Psych as well. I think I've dropped off Cobra Kai's. I can't finish it.
I have not watched the most recent season, and
I hope they finish strong.
yeah.
I'm at the point where that kid starts walking again.
Oh, what? You're leaving?
Oh, you're way behind.
Yeah, no, that's where I'm kind of off.
Because that's where it starts getting sad. Because Miguel, who is the best character ever, starts getting sour.
Yeah, and I'm done. That's not entertaining to me because he was a good kid. I don't want him to be a bad guy.
I mean, Hawk is where it's at, though. I mean,
I don't know. Hawk's just a jerk. Like when he's mean to his friend, it's so.
okay, but you have not gotten to the redemption of Hawk.
No, I have not.
I love Hawk. He is.
I
so
mean, it's
awesome.
obvious that it's coming from what I've last remembered.
Oh, I love Hawk. And then, yeah, I love that they do the the sound
The
of
sound effect.
He is still my he is my logo for my Netflix account.
Hawk is?
Yeah.
That's funny.
If it played that sound effect while you're loading Netflix, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing.
All right. Next one is 30 Rock versus White Collar.
Oh man, this this week is all so much easier compared to last week. Last week I think we had to do lots of debating and discussing and whatever, but I think it's White Collar hands down.
I'm kind of surprised that you say that. Just thought you would go maybe 30 Rock a little bit.
I've never watched like the last 4 seasons of 30 Rock.
Oh, wow.
Like I
thought you were hardcore into 30 Rock.
I was, and like I think I even said it when we were discussing this around the time that because I always appreciated them with guest stars, but around the time that they were like doing long, prolonged guest star
Oh, yeah.
stuff, I was just like, I don't know. And then like around the time that Matt Damon made his appearance, and I did like the whole like, you know, Sky Timeout or something like that. I thought that was funny, but I'm like, maybe I'm like not watching it, but I feel as though like the first couple of seasons were almost standalone, and then they started getting arc heavy.
Yeah.
And maybe because I didn't watch everything because I was expecting kind of standalone stuff, that I kind of fell off.
Yep. I would agree with that.
I'm going White Collar.
I'm going White Collar too, obviously. I love me some White Collar. I can't believe that. That was Third Rock versus the Drew Carey Show. Now, this is a little bit more, I feel like, maybe. I don't know. We talked to, what did Drew Carey go against?
I think it was Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yeah, it was. And Third Rock went against
I feel like
The Last of Us.
that was an easy win for Drew Carey.
Yeah.
It was. It was a kind of a gimme. The Drew Carey Show, it was good. It was funny and memorable, but I definitely liked Third Rock more.
Yeah, Third Rock for me. I like the characters. I like the stories.
So here's a question for you before we even cast votes. What if it was Third Rock versus Malcolm in the Middle? Where would you go?
Third Rock. I don't like Malcolm in the Middle.
Ooh.
Malcolm in the Middle had its moments. It really did. And they were funny moments.
As the kids got older, I got a little less interested.
Mm-hmm. And I almost didn't like when they started focusing more on the oldest brother
Oh yeah.
that's in college or military camp.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that he had limited, you know, screen time early on.
I'd still go Third Rock, even though Hal's in there. He's great.
Yeah, how is the saving grace of that entire
I don't know, Hal and Lois. Like
Lois too, yeah.
Lois and Malcolm's older brother.
Yeah. Malcolm's older brother, yes, is a lot. He's probably the best kid.
Yeah.
The little kid the youngest would have redemption times.
Mm-hmm. All right. So for this one, Drew Carey, Third Rock. I have to go Third Rock.
Third Rock.
Man, the whole
Clean sweeping.
Okay. Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory versus Breakout Kings. Breakout Kings is good, but strong enough to beat Big Bang.
Oh.
Big Bang is a number 1 seed, if you ask me. Like, they should have, it should have been a number 1 seed, but randomizing it, put it here as number 26.
There is just something so compelling, and that brings Big Bang Theory. Just you want to go back and watch more and more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a safety blanket that you just really like and enjoy.
Yeah, but it is definitely one of those shows that you can rewatch for comfort, rewatch background noise, rewatch to rewatch.
Yeah, I got to go Big Bang.
Yep.
Big Bang.
Go Big Bang also.
Man, this is the most predictable round. Rick and Morty versus MASH. MASH is like Cheers, on what we mentioned earlier. Very iconic for its time and has still transcends its time. Rick and Morty, more modern comedy, crude comedy.
I've seen MASH back in the day. I haven't revisited it in a long time. And Rick and Morty, I've seen bits and pieces here and there, but I'm gonna go Rick and Morty. It just looks more compelling, more fun.
See, for me personally, MASH is the most consistent show. Yes, the Alan Alda episodes are the worst.
Yep.
But it's still more consistent. Rick and Morty, when it is hysterical, it is firing on all cylinders. And when it misses, and at least for me, I guess it goes to taste, because I own all of them, but I only rewatch maybe 8 total, because it's funny, but not funny enough to want to watch a second time. And so I guess I'm going to be the wrench in this one and go MASH, preventing the entirety of this round being a complete sweep. Not to do that, but actually, because again, I think MASH is more consistent compared to Rick and Morty.
Is it funny? But it doesn't make you think.
It makes you think. It's the African American Hour.
It's a great movie. I like Rick and Morty, and I like MASH. I've watched MASH. It's funny. I do get I don't know if I get fatigue or what, but because every time I try to watch MASH all the way through, I start at the beginning, and then I go all the way, and I get to about somewhere around the 7th season, and I stop. And I don't know if I'm just getting fatigued and I need to do a lot better at spacing it out.
Season 7, I think, is the hardest season to get through. I don't know what happened there, but season 7 is hard. And then it kind of picks up in season 8 and season 9. And then I think season 10, does it end at 11 or 10?
I think it ends at 11.
Yeah. And so 10, it kind of lulls a little bit, but it's still, to me, more consistent than Rick and Morty.
Yeah. I'm going MASH.
Wow.
I respect.
All right. Well, should we move on?
I mean, I guess.
All right. Do we want to go to the other side of the...
Yes.
All right. And here we go. All right. So now we're going to start the next round. And this gets already a little bit more dicey. Futurama versus Seinfeld.
Rewatchability.
You guys love your Seinfeld. I know that. I'm not Team Seinfeld.
Yeah,
So I'm already just going to put my
I have to go
Futurama.
I have to go Seinfeld because I like Futurama, but my favorite thing about Seinfeld is when Seinfeld mirrors real life. And when I swear it's happening more and more. And I'm just like, that's a Seinfeld episode that just barely happened right there. Or that's a Seinfeld incident that happened right there. And I'm just like, I love it. And it just makes me love the show even more.
I have to ask this because I just realized this the other day. I saw who's the main guy writer?
Larry David.
Larry David. I saw Larry David on something the other day. And I'm like, how long have you been old? You have been old forever. Is he like in his 30s when he was writing Seinfeld? And that's just how he looked?
Possibly.
Because, yeah, he is just always old.
You know, the funny thing about that is like, I remember my friends really started getting into his HBO show. And they're like, Brett, if you really like Seinfeld, you will love his HBO show. And they forced me to watch like 9 episodes. And I just don't think it's funny.
Yeah, I just have never had any desire.
Curb Your Enthusiasm, that's what it's called.
So, Cradle.
I love
the choice
both
is
these
yours,
shows.
but choose wisely.
Futurama to me is like, I think it's better than The Simpsons.
It is.
I feel like
especially when you consider the whole show as a whole season is way better than Simpsons.
well, not just that, but like the dynamic between everybody, all the characters in the group, they're able to go and do things that Simpsons couldn't do.
Well, and think about this. Let's just like reverse it. Or not reverse it, but like if the Simpsons were canceled, would they come back? And I actually have to think, no, they would not.
It would have to be like decades.
Yeah. But I mean, this is Futurama's 3rd revival. And that has to say something about the show itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Futurama went on, they did the original run, then they did movies, and then another run, and then another run.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's got to say something about it. And I love the characters in Futurama, Fry and Leela and Bender. But then Seinfeld, I'm like, man, I love Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer, and like, man, they're dynamic behind the whole thing. I've watched every single episode multiple times. I have them all on DVD. I've watched the extras. I've watched the stuff behind that series. I mean, I gotta go Seinfeld.
All right.
Boo. Boo.
Let's see. Can I help you out with that?
No, boo. All right, fine.
Oh, jeez.
Next one, Brooklyn Nine-Nine versus Supernatural.
I have to easily hand it to Supernatural. It's not even close.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine's good, though.
It is good, but
I think the first 3 seasons are the best.
And the Halloween episodes are
Yes.
the best.
Yeah. And I also like their pranks and
Yeah.
whatnot.
I mean, I'd have to think harder if it was Supernatural versus Community. And I think I'd go Community.
Didn't we do that?
Last
Did we?
time it was Community versus...
Where's Supernatural? Oh, yeah, Supernatural versus Community.
So
it was 1, 2. Maybe you were the one?
Yeah, I was the
It
one.
was because Criddle was a jerk, and
Yeah.
he decided to make
He's
me
like,
choose. All right, so Brett's Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Supernatural too.
I'm going to obviously go Supernatural too. That and White Collar are 2 of my favorite shows. Friends versus Stranger Things.
Oh,
Somehow this makes sense. I don't know how, but it does. Friends is very much like a Big Bang Theory, a How I Met Your Mother, a Cheers, those kind of like, it is, for that decade, it was the show.
it is the 90s. I mean, it's almost like the 90s
Yes.
versus the 80s.
Yeah, it really is. Except modern made,
Yeah.
looking back at 80s. But,
Modern looking 80s.
but comedy versus horror. And I am just, this is one that I'm rewatching in my head. And I honestly, if I'm rewatching these over and over and over in my head, I'm watching Stranger Things.
Okay, just 1 second. Will you X out of
Yep.
that? Okay, so
What are you looking at?
I'm just going to see what it's going to go against.
Oh. Alice in Borderland and The Simpsons.
Okay. I don't care. So
Okay.
the king of clubs tells me, just vote for whichever one will get us to the next round.
All right. What do you guys say? So, Brett, you don't care?
My vote's with whatever Tim votes for.
Okay, I am going to go Stranger Things.
Okay,
All
my
right.
vote is also Stranger Things.
Your vote would have been Stranger Things anyway.
That was tougher than I thought, but I mean,
had he said Friends, it would have been Friends. I told you, I don't care, because the winner of this round will beat the winner of that round right there.
It probably will. Alice in Borderland versus The Simpsons. Now,
Okay.
most rewatchable, we have to consider the whole
First
show.
13 series,
Very rewatchable.
very rewatchable.
all the Treehouse of Horrors are pretty rewatchable.
Mm.
I mean, 75%.
Okay, 70. I'll give you 75%.
I can't back that up.
Okay, I might downgrade it to 60%.
That's fair.
But if we're going the entirety of The Simpsons,
Brett's gonna hate me for this, but I think the most rewatchable is The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Comedy. Alice in Borderland is a great show. Not discounting that at all. But rewatchability, I can pop in The Simpsons and watch that anytime. Alice in Borderland, I don't think I could do that, especially watching the whole one season and then wanting to watch it again.
see, here's how I'm going to explain my vote for Alice in Borderland.
Okay,
So if The Simpsons were canceled, let's say at season 17, I think The Simpsons would live on in the zeitgeist of the world as being the best perfect show ever.
yep.
But it didn't. We are on season 34 now. And at a time, I will say I didn't miss an episode of The Simpsons.
Yep.
Currently, I don't miss The Simpsons.
Sunday at 7:00 was a very important time.
Exactly. It was so because I currently don't miss The Simpsons, I'm gonna go Alice in Borderland.
Well, remember, so when you think about watching The Simpsons, let's just say you were given as a gift all 34 seasons of The Simpsons to watch.
Recycling the.
You would probably watch them.
Okay, but
you're on a desert island.
Using season 33, 34, 35 as skipping stones.
But think about this. You're given 34 seasons of The Simpsons, and let's say, honey, we're going to watch all 34 seasons of The Simpsons. As you're going through it, there's 24 episodes or more per season.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like by season 8, I'd get fatigued.
So just out of curiosity, here's a random question for you. What's better, a early season Lisa episode or a random episode from season 27? What do you think? Because
A random episode from season 27. I don't like those shows. I don't like those episodes with Lisa.
So I'm gonna go Alice in Borderland.
Yes, the king of clubs is so happy for you.
Look at this. You seen these charts that I'm pulling up here?
Ooh,
This is
look
a
at that.
viewership of Simpsons by seasons and episodes. And yeah, I bet you all these little upticks are on every
Treehouse of Horror.
Treehouse of Horrors.
Mhm.
Yep. But yeah, look at where they are right now. They're below 5 million now.
I mean, the hard part, you can't compare, sadly, season 1 to season current whatever we're on, because of more channels,
Oh, yes.
streaming options,
More content.
more
yeah.
content.
And also at the time, season 1, season 2, Simpsons was a breakout. It was a different kind of.
Mhm.
It was kind of the early crude show.
Yep, it was. All right, you two. Yeah, Alice in Borderland. Now it's All right. I think we got time for one more.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Yes.
Back to the other side.
The Upside Down.
All right. Cheers versus Sherlock.
Ooh.
This is more.
This
of
is
a
very
fair fight.
intriguing. It is a fair fight.
This one, I think I'm going with comedy here.
Okay.
I'm going with Cheers because comedy lends itself to rewatchability. Cheers is pretty funny. Sherlock is rewatchable and a higher rewatchable drama mystery than other shows would be, but going Cheers because I like me some Ted Danson, Woody Harrelson,
Carla.
yeah. I like them all.
I'm going Sherlock.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You doing that just to get to him?
No, I think, if I also think, what would I rewatch? There's less seasons and episodes of Sherlock than Cheers. And also, I mean, there's also the possibility of, both being revived. And which one would I go and revisit? I'd probably do Sherlock.
Oh, if they revived Cheers, it would be horrible. It would be,
Especially for today.
It would be.
But Sherlock coming back, and it would get me excited and pumped to go back and rewatch him again. So I'm leaning towards Sherlock.
Joe, it's funny. Before you put your vote in, I was leaning towards Sherlock, but now you summed it up. Like there's less of them. The quality of the good episodes are easier to rewatch, but the quality of Cheers was just more consistent.
And there's a spinoff.
And did you see that they're bringing back Frasier?
Yep.
Oh,
On Paramount Plus.
I've never watched.
I've
watched maybe an episode here or there, but
I never watched it. There's a group that
Jude has watched it all.
Really?
My son, yes, he has watched it all.
Wow.
I know he's an intelligent kid, so of course he enjoys it.
My hat's off to you, Jude. I'm gonna go Cheers.
All right.
All right.
I'm
not mad about it.
All right, next one, Justice League Unlimited versus Psych.
Oh, which one could I not live without?
I don't know Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. I don't know what type of animation it is. Like not the actual pen to paper animation, but like
it's less dark than Batman the Animated Series. It's very similar. It is not old timey.
Okay.
But it is very similar in its animation, except brighter.
I think I'm going to lean towards Psych. I love Justice League, but one of the things that annoys me a little bit about Justice League is there's so many like to be continued episodes.
Yes, there is.
And you almost drag on for like 4 or 5 episodes of some kind of thing story that's happening. That's my only like probably complaint about it.
Yeah, and which is weird because, those episodes were in the early 2000s where, I mean, I guess, X-Men and the Spider-Man animated series kind of did that. But it was interesting because you'd have these like standalone episodes and then suddenly 3-part story.
Yeah.
Or 5-part story. And it's just like, I don't appreciate this. I think this could have been wrapped up quicker.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I like in comic books as I'm reading still X-Men Unlimited? I'm almost done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is I like it when it tells you that this is going to be part 1 of a
4-part series.
Yeah, of a 4-part series. Like, oh, so it tells you when, how long to expect this story arc to go. And I'm like, I like this.
Like to me, if they're going to do a 6-part episode, just make it a mini movie or
Yes.
something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I appreciate the show, but man, they do it quite a bit.
Yeah. But it is good, but it's not good enough to beat Psych.
So, sorry, Criddle, you picked
I
Psych.
picked Psych.
And then you picked
I
Psych.
pick Psych. Uh-huh.
I don't honestly care. So I will pick Psych because I do like Sean Spencer. I don't know why. I need to maybe go back and rewatch the show, but the show was not, I mean, I enjoyed it. For some reason, I got on the hype and the bandwagon with it. But then after I was done, I was like, I could walk away from the show altogether. So. All right. Next one is White Collar versus Third Rock. Third Rock from the Sun, I should say. I'm just always leaving that out. White Collar is fantastic. I love White Collar. I love Nick Caffrey.
Neil
And
Caffrey.
Neil Caffrey. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Neil Caffrey. I love the FBI agent Peter. I love the fact that my crush from
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell's in there. Tiffany Amber Thiessen. I follow her on TikTok now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. She's not funny, but it's just like, oh, that's my crush when I was like 6 or 7. So yeah, I'm going White Collar. Love White Collar.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go White Collar.
White Collar.
And I forget, Criddle, you've seen it?
Nope.
Nope. You need to see Supernatural and White Collar.
I know.
You need to like. I was gonna mention this earlier before we move on to the next one. So whenever I give certain like friends of mine or acquaintances of mine like shows that we should recommend, or me and my wife recommend to them, sometimes I'm always amazed at some of the questions they ask, like how many seasons on it are on that show that you recommended. And I found that if I tell people it's a larger amount, like more than 2, people are like already like, no, I don't have time for that. And like, I'm like, give me a show that has like 10 seasons, 15, 20 seasons. And if it's a good rock solid show, oh man, I will be excited.
I'm just in the middle of trying to finish up some series right now.
What are you finishing up?
I haven't finished Secret Invasion yet.
Okay.
I haven't finished Ahsoka yet.
I haven't even started that one yet.
Yeah, I need to finish those 2.
See, I never wanted to watch Ahsoka because it was funny. One of my friends constantly tells me you should watch it, and I'm like, but I think I'd have to watch the cartoons and like the Clone Wars, and there's like, no, but those are good cartoons. And to me, the animation for those cartoons is so odd. I can't get behind it.
Yeah, the look of it does look weird, but I mean, I never watched them. I after watching Ahsoka, it kind of makes me want to go back and just see it, what people are talking about, but I don't think you necessarily need to.
All right. So yeah, we are on the last one for today. Big Bang Theory versus MASH.
This is no
2
contest.
giants from their time.
I'm on the Big Bang bandwagon. I like Howard and I like Raj and Sheldon and their whole gang. I love it. I got to go with the Big Bang Theory.
And I know I'm going to be going for MASH, and it will not go to the next round. But again, I still think that it is. I think it's actually the more consistent one, like even with the Alan Alda episodes.
I feel like Big Bang Theory is very consistent. Like, I don't think there's really too many bad episodes in there at all. Like, I think the Alan Alda episodes make MASH less consistent. So I'm going Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going to go.
All right. I'm just going to give a recap for next time. So Cheers versus Psych. That should be a good one.
Yes.
White Collar versus Big Bang Theory. That's a mean one. And then
On the other side.
No, I'm still on the same side. The other side is Seinfeld versus Supernatural, which I know how that's turning out. Stranger Things versus Alice in Borderland, which that should be interesting. I don't know how Criddle's going to go on that one. So stay tuned and let's move on to our recommendation.
My recommendation this week is listen to soundtracks, movie soundtracks. I've been listening to them a lot lately.
You destroyed that movie soundtrack thing that Jeremy did from what quizzled me this last week because of your movie soundtrack ness.
Yeah, I enjoy movie soundtracks, but I only like them when I'm studying. And now that I'm like officially done with school, I don't think
I do it while I work. So
I recently have been having like a YouTube like best of 80s, 90s, and today.
Yes.
And I don't really, some of the music, I'm like, why is this in here? And I'm like, I keep on telling myself one of these days, I need to create my own playlist on YouTube. So that way I can just play my own music. because I'm like, this is not a good song. I'm like, I've never even heard of this song. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean it was not popular, I guess. But I'm like, was it really that good if I didn't hear of it?
Exactly.
and I don't want to listen to it now. So, yeah, I don't know why I was going with that. Anyway, so my recommendation of this week, I don't really have too much of a recommendation. So this is me just pulling out something that brings me happiness in my life. I recommend getting a Roomba. I love my Roomba so much. Goes off every night while we sleep, and as long as we pick up the toys every night from the main floor, it vacuums up everything. Especially because our kids are messy eaters, and so they got all that food on the floor, and then it just cleans it all up. And like the next day, it's like we have a clean floor. And then sometimes during the day, I'll turn it on as well. So I use Wise Roomba. It's only like, I think they upped the prices. Unfortunately, I think it's $300 now. I think when we got it was much cheaper.
Oh, wow.
But I hope one of these days. I mean, I saw that they have advertised. I don't know how to pronounce this company's name, but I call it Eufy, EUFY. And I think they're owned by Anchor, if I remember correctly. They make a mopping, vacuuming one that is smart enough to know when to do which. And then also it cleans itself when it's done.
That's cool.
It cleans the mop parts, and then it gets rid of the debris in its like own little compartment thing, so it can go back and do it some more. And I'm like, if I'm not going to obviously try this out for a couple years until they perfect it, because if you haven't seen the fun things of Roombas, like they're afraid of black because black is just a void to them, so they think they're going to fall. So, but we don't have any black rugs or carpet or anything. So I just know that there are little nuances to these things that they have to get the bugs out. And I don't know what a mopping, vacuuming one would be like. I just would, be afraid of it mopping where it should vacuum and vacuum where it should mop. So I'll just wait for then.
That's cool. So my one recommendation is, as we are in the month of October while recording this, I always love me some really good horror movies. I also love some bad horror movies because I get enjoyment from watching that. And on Shudder, there is a documentary series. For some reason, they don't have the first one, but the documentary series is called In Search of Darkness. And it is basically looking at going from 1980 all the way to 1989, looking at the various eras of horror movies and it's funny because the synopsis says 80s horror icon / experts. I will tell you, experts? No. I would say passionate fans who have podcasts and YouTube channels, and some of the, creators and the actors that were in them from the 80s and stuff like that. But it is really fun because as I'm like, what is it? Part 3 is 342 minutes. And you can't watch it in one sitting because it's just like, it's way too long. But you know what? You just pause it, come back. And then as I'm doing this, I'm constantly like going to IMDb and I'm like, I'm going to add that to a list that I need to watch. I need to add that to it. And then I'll like look at something. I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I'll like read some comments on IMDb. They're just like, okay, the trailer is blah, this is this. And I'm like, okay, not going to watch this then. But it's giving me a lot of good ideas to watch for some good horror movies and some bad horror movies for the month of October. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right.
I need to watch some more horror movies, especially the older ones. Like they obviously missed out on watching. I mean, horror movies that are sci-fi, like Aliens, horror movies that are, I've never seen any of the Halloweens. I've never seen all of I don't need to see all of them, but I think I've only seen the first Nightmare on Elm Street. And even that is kind of fuzzy in my head where I need to rewatch it again. I've seen the first Jason. I've unfortunately seen Jason X. So, and then there's some other horror movies that came from the 80s too that I probably need to. I didn't really get onto the bandwagon of horror movies until Scream came out. I think that was my first introduction of really enjoying horror movies. And so I always give Scream its dues. I love Scream just because of what it did to me and giving me like appreciation for that genre. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if I didn't get in when I did or whatever. Who knows what would have happened, but I love horror movies now. And so now I need to go backwards and watch those. And it's not, I've talked on this podcast how when I'm on a flight, and those are the times where I try and watch those movies that I've missed. And I don't think I can ever watch a horror movie on a flight because I'm not giving it its due.
Yeah.
It needs to be in a setting where I can be scared.
Lights off. Yep.
I like that. And I keep thinking about it. What is it about being scared? I'm just...
Yeah. I mean, like, what is it? See, the main reason why I like horror movies is I have an overactive imagination, which is good and also bad because my overactive imagination has caused so much fear that I cannot go on roller coasters because I am confident that this will kill me. However, I know that it's not justified, but I can't rationalize it. But horror movies are great because I can be scared, but I can also just turn it off and then it's gone. And the only thing that occurs is I will have nightmares, which I will tell you, most of my dreams, I'm like looking for something. I'm just like walking around like, I wonder where the batteries are. Or, hey, I found an empty box of Cheetos. Like, what do I do? And I wake up and I'll be like, that was the lamest dream ever. So at least like when I have like watch horror movies, I will have intense nightmares and I'll wake up out of breath going, okay, brain, let's do this. To be continued. Let's go.
Yeah. I never get to do a to be continued. Once I exit the dream and never go back. But yeah, I like being scared just because I think I like the relief also, like the adrenaline and then the relief and all as well. And you're like, that's nice.
Yeah. All right.
All right, guys. Well, that's a podcast.